I think my top recommendation for the development of Emirati would be that they look at both the human systems and how that can be very successful, but also consider the ecological systems, the health of the water, the health of the ecology, health of wildlife, and try to design the city so that it was actively engaging these other aspects alongside and with the human benefits. So if the ecology is healthy and the ecology is happy and the water is happy and there's health and wildlife in these systems, then it will be an indicator for the city whether the whole environment is happy.
So when we talk about the happiness of the city, rather than talking about the happiness of the fabric of the city, I think that we have to talk about the happiness of the people living in the city, which seems quite obvious, but most of the times is forgotten. So I would say that we have to make sure that people living in Amaravati, the future inhabitants of Amaravati, are people that will see fulfill their hopes, and hopes are based on jobs, opportunities for all, social services, social care, the capacity to host, and everything has to be at the service of this goal.
This idea of the Happy City Summit is a very good idea, not only for India, but for the whole world. To make the goal to search happy cities is very important, because the world now is a world of cities, and in the future it's going to be more. Our work and our transformation in Medellin, Colombia, goes to transform Medellin from the fear and the pain to the city of the hope and the city of life. And this is very similar to the goal of happy cities, because happy cities and cities for life need to be integral, need to be smart cities, need to be very good mobile, sustainable cities, very workable cities, very safe cities. And you need to take all these areas of work of the cities in control to make a city happy. But maybe the more important thing is to have the participation of the community.
As per my opinion, there are two important aspects which are required to make a city happy and inclusive. One is having a good sports infrastructure and involvement of youth in that, and second is the cultural aspect. If you see cities in India and all over the world, the cities which has these two aspects which are coherent and then which are involved in cities' overall development are useful in making city livable and inclusive.
I think this is a great opportunity when the government of Andhra Pradesh is setting up Amaravati as its capital city, we are calling it Happy City. So there is an opportunity where the government should think about the poor and especially the women and those who are working in the informal economy. I think the livelihoods and creating their livelihoods is a big responsibility of the government, and how do you manage their livelihoods in the informal economy is very important. So when we talk about ease of doing business, it's mainly about ease of doing business for industries, but how does government think creatively that the different businesses run by these poor people, like street vending and many other things. They do a lot of work from home, they produce a lot of stuff from home. So they do a lot of business. These informal sector workers, they are involved in many ways and contributing to the economy. So how does the government think to involve them creatively and also provide them ease of doing business? That is very important.
Do you know how many bee species are in India? You probably don't know that more than 500 native species of bees. One recommendation I have for this beautiful new city is to take care of bees, to give them a home, to create habitats for them, in order for them to pollinate the city. That will be a very cheap and efficient way of keeping the city green, but not only green by the birds, biodiversity into the city is one of the things we have to look forward during this century. A happy city cannot be a happy city without biodiversity. Without biodiversity coming from the soil, showing biodiversity in the green areas, and letting the biodiversity cleaning the air.
What would be my recommendation to make Amravati an even happier city? I would do everything I could to make sure that all of the beautiful buildings and programs and plans that people have been talking about at the summit are equally as accessible to people from lower income groups. So if it's a question of setting up a waste management system, a new waste management system that could recycle and eliminate waste efficiently, how do you find a way to integrate the informal sector and get them involved as well and benefiting from some of these new economic activities? If we're talking about integrating blue and green spaces into the city, how do you make these spaces as equally accessible to poor people as they are to rich people? That would be my recommendation for how to make Amravati an even happier city.
I think if we want Amravati to be a happy city, we need to have a lot of nature. We cannot be happy without nature. We need to have trees, we need to have parks, we need to have flowers. Also, for a very happy city, we need to be able to walk. In India, we don't have many places to walk. Amravati must have places to walk. Big sidewalks, big trees with shadow because it is so hot. So, finally, if we want Amravati to be a place for happy people, we need to design it for people, not for cars, not for motorcycles, for people. People must be the first and the most important thing in Amravati. If we do that, Amravati will be a happy city.